Hello? Can you hear us?
Ah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
It has. It has. Okay, I'm just gonna wait for the stream to catch up live to make sure everything's good.
Likewise. Oh god, I have the audio playing on. Oh god, that was almost fucking bad. Oh yeah, you're only coming in one headphone.
I am? Hold on, let me...
At least for me. Hey, chat, is that being weird for anyone else or just me?
Okay, how about now?
We'll wait for stream to catch up before diving into everything.
I accidentally clicked on the stream chat waiting room trying to click on the chat. Yeah, Rainbow's had me in only one ear too.
Okay, I think you're fixed there, Red.
Huzzah! Sorry, it has been a hot minute since we've been able to do one of these streams. In case you haven't been able to tell, I'm not usually the dude behind Destiny streams. Also, is the background music good?
I don't hear any background music.
What the fuck? Come on, old Neo Tanabe track. Do your fucking job.
Boy, can you tell it's been a heckin' while since our last behind the scenes?
Also, Storm, I'm sorry, but you're coming a little staticky on my end, so that might translate to the stream. I think it's because of the screen share.
Well... Fuck.
We will survive.
Alrighty.
Ender says they're going to be communicating exclusively through emotes in the chat.
Good. Yes.
They're not a member. Damn. Alright, how's everyone doing today? Who's ready for some Digimon Abridged goodness? So, this episode was as you can see in the bottom here, this was a big undertaking. This was a 27-minute long episode. Thankfully, our longest is about 40 minutes, and we combined 2 episodes for that. But this also combined 2 episodes, so that was still a bit of a challenge.
And boy, howdy, was that fun.
Yes.
We knew for a long time that episode 10, we wanted to be the Angemon episode, so we wanted to condense as much as we could to get to that point.
Yes.
Without losing the fun.
Yeah. And speaking of fun, this episode had a lot of good, a lot of fun VFX for me. But a lot of standard ones that are I've talked about a lot before. So we'll kind of get those standard ones out of the way first. Just to recap for anyone who's new here, I edit using the Adobe Suite. If you're a first-time editor, I don't recommend it, purely because the subscription sucks. I do, however, get dynamic linking through it, which allows me to immediately send clips from my non-linear video editor, Premiere, to After Effects, which is my compositor. So we have this first shot here of Leomon. However, this is how the shot originally looked. It's Ogremon. We often do this fun thing, and I'm usually the culprit, where we will write something to happen, and there's no footage for it. So what I ended up doing is I drew a bunch of these masks over Leomon, and then I just found just a static sky that closely matched the original. And boom. And normally I would try to actually do the lip flaps within After Effects, but After Effects is very bad for that kind of timing. There can be a delay. So what I've started doing is I'll either render a single pass with each individual lip flap static in the one file, but I've also started doing just 3 separate render passes with each lip flap just on its own. This was like one of the more standard ones. We also had this shot of Joe, which I've used before. This is this one right here is a old and goodie.
We've used that Joe so many times, I feel like.
Actually, we haven't, surprisingly.
I know, but it's one of the first images of Joe that come to my mind whenever I think of our Abridged series.
Yeah. Then we have... Okay, this shot of Gomon is actually... It's a rotoscope, but not in the way that we're replacing the background. Because the original shot... Let's see... Looked like this. This one, I just went and did a color correction. So because this is for the end of the episode, where everything's at sunset, either on the mountain, we have the right environment here, it's just colored incorrectly. So I just did a hue adjustment and made it more pink and orangey to match where things would go eventually. Yes, Ramos, for school projects, Hit Film Express is great. I've heard a lot of great things about Hit Film. Also, if any of you are interested in video editing, DaVinci Resolve. It is 100% free. I'm actually looking into learning Resolve myself. As you can see down here.
Yep, I was learning, guys.
Yeah. Boom. DaVinci 19.
But Red, surely there were more to this episode than just color correction and rotoscopes.
Yeah. More rotoscopes. So this was actually I knew going into this episode that I would be doing this effect. So for this I wanted to retime TK, but the background's moving all the time. Thankfully, we knew ahead of time that, I don't know why, but Digimon loves to use stock After Effects effects. Whenever you see a particle or a distortion, it's After Effects. Most noticeably, fractal noise. This thing here is the backbone of so many VFX. And I was able to recreate the background behind TK when Angemon makes a sacrifice.
Spoilers?
Fair enough. So, step one, I made a fractal noise pattern and cranked it so that the exposure was pretty high. So that way we had more brights than we had dark areas. I then tinted it to better match the color values of the original footage. Made a levels adjustment to bring those brights down just a bit. And then a hue and brightness and contrast adjustment to push it a bit further again. And then brought that on top of our footage of TK. Don't worry, I'm sure he's fine. Did this twice. I was so happy I was able to recreate the background for this. And this was in the script. I just decided I wanted to do it.
Right, I gotta say, I love how you color coded everyone's roto.
I had to. I was like, this is like one of the few times I'm gonna have everyone in the shot for this kind of thing. I have to take my shots. So, oh god damn, I forgot how many masks these were.
Look at all the chaos this man does to himself.
So this is famously a shot of the group from the end of episode 1 before the Digimon Digivolve for the first time. I wanted to use this as the shot where they all react to the special guest at the end of the episode. Just as sort of like a bow on top of everything.
Also, this is a good shot for that.
Yeah. I should have just put an egg at TK's feet. It's like, ah!
Just hurt that boy more.
Oh, We have such plans for you, TK. We have such plans. Okay, so that was it as far as backgrounds and big rotoscoping jobs. So do me a favor and keep an eye on the chat. I'm going through my notes here.
Yeah, I'm watching chat. So far, nothing new has come up.
I'll show you later. So a lot of things that I had to do came down to motion tracking. Now, usually if we have a lip flap, you can do this by hand in Premiere. It just takes a while, and I'm lazy, and I don't want to do it. So, I will go ahead and just motion track a motherfucker. Leomon's talking here. Boom. The way I'll typically do this is I'll find a piece of the footage that is stagnant that I can just isolate, and I'll target that with a motion tracking null. It looks like for here I picked... That makes no sense. I tracked Matt's glove?
You picked his knee.
That doesn't make sense. I definitely didn't do that for... I'm motion tracking Ty. That would
Let me tell you, as someone with experience, knees are not very stable.
Okay.
On things there.
Yeah, my reaction to what you just said. So, this is also handy when I need to track something that's moving, like, forward and back. Because scale is a bitch. So, normally for something like this, I want two tracking points. When you're just tracking going up or down, left to right, you only need 1 point. But if something is moving closer or farther away, I need to track 2 points. So for this, I believe I tracked TK's eye and this dot on his hat. So moves, and then moves his head, and I knew I wasn't going to have any of the flaps there, so I stopped the track there, resumed it here.
So sad.
I just love this. I love this bit so much. Oh, it's
He said the
Weasel!
same thing.
I just came
We
to
have a
say
Weasel in the
hi.
chats.
And then the first thing is, we have big plans for you, TK, and now I'm worried about the boy. Correct. Correct of you.
TK goes through the fucking ringer. What a good boy he is, though.
Yes.
Beacon of hope.
But yeah, once we have this motion tracking data, I apply it to the null object, and then I can parent that to the track heck layer. Because a null object, you'll see this red square signifying it, is just an empty layer. You can do anything to it. Like, I can apply a blur, and you'll see that nothing is happening even though I crank up that blur, because there's nothing in it to be affected. Let's see. I had a couple other motion tracks in here. What did I have? Ah, yes, Sora. Pretty standard motion track. Just track her eye. Another fun one. Now, realistically, this would be a tilt, but in the world of animation, this is just a y-axis movement, so I was able to get away with that. This one was a motherfucker, because I had to do this one twice.
Why?
One, just to make Matt shut up. And then, let's see, when did I do it again?
Understandable.
Shut up, Matt. And then
It
again,
is your time to shut up.
because we had custom lip flaps made for Leomon. So I had to, one, impose those, track Leomon, and what's this? Oh, yeah. I had to do some surgery here to make this walk. Cause,
a question from Christopher Ramos. Did you go to school for this, or were you self-taught and trained?
I am self-taught. I did take a course way back in high school for video editing, but that was more so to learn Final Cut Pro version 7 that I was using at the time. As far as everything else, I am mostly self-taught in everything, especially the VFX stuff. The biggest struggle with learning this stuff is knowing what terms to search to give you the tutorials that give you the best information. At least that's my opinion.
Because a lot of your knowledge is tutorials and just playing around with the tools you have in your kits.
Yes, as a matter of fact, if you go back to the previous episode breakdown, there's this like dust explosion I do for Izzy's, that like dust is coming out of Izzy's mouth. I followed a tutorial for that, and I even linked that in the chat at the time, I believe. Tutorials are great, and oftentimes they give you the, like, even if it's for an effect I already know how to do, I'll often still watch the tutorial, because there's more than one way to do the same thing, and often a different creator might have a interesting new mechanic or method that might be useful for another effect down the line for me. It's about learning the process and not learning the result. If that makes sense. For example,
yeah,
here, I motion tracked Leomon, his little earring. But let's see what happens if I turn the right thing off. Okay, we have a mat here. I'm trying to, here it is. But now we see some of the jungle is all fucked up and tracked to Leomon. We don't want that. That's why we have a track mat applied. Oh wait, no, that was the tracking. Oh, I was looking for this. Haha. So because some things on Leomon got distorted when I had to put these lip flaps in place. So I had to duplicate sections of the jungle to put them over his closed lip flap. Or rather, his original. And then I had to track that back in, and then using this mat, I had to cut those sections that were bleeding through out to give the illusion of a single intact Leomon.
Is it okay if I sort of backtrack a little bit on something about the editing?
Yes.
So that, I remember hearing this one question about why do we learn certain math programs even though we're never going to apply them in our everyday life? And someone said, why does a football player train with like weights that can make him strong enough to carry a horse? It's not that you're expected to carry that much. You just train your body to be that strong. Math is the same way for training the brain. And looking at tutorials, even if it's not the same effect that you're trying to pull off, the process of understanding the toolkit is training you to be ready for when you might need those tools.
Exactly.
Like understanding the muscle that is your editing equipment.
Exactly. Like, there are so many effects in here, I don't know all of them. And I don't know if I'm ever going to know all of them. That's kind of the thing that appeals to me about VFX, is there's so much you can do that I'm realistically never going to be able to figure it all out. But it always gives a nice new challenge to figure some certain things out. Like, I don't think I've ever touched half of these effects. I don't think I've even scratched the surface of what After Effects can truly do. Yes, Weasel. You can do the mouth flaps in a pan by hand, but it takes forever. Dude, that's why I motion track most of the lip flaps. I'm editing Demon Slayer right now, and I actually am saving those for a separate pass altogether, just to do a mass batch to After Effects. I even did one here for Devimon, but this was the frame I gave Kuduyu to make the lip flap off of. Kuduyu, if you don't know, is our very talented artist that we use for all of our custom lip flaps. So I had to go in and create a mat for his fingies.
Look at those fingers.
Look at my fingers. Touch of evil. And then there's this shot.
Oh, we knew this was coming ever since episode 2.
Kill me with a rusty sword. So, I'll be honest. Ever since we started Digimon Abridged, I've been dreading this episode because of these shots. I've known this has been coming for 7 years, and I have not been looking forward to this particular scene because of it.
With those particles flying every which way, it would make slowing it down, lip flapping it, and all your normal toolkits practically impossible to use.
Yeah, we'll get to the solution in a bit, but thankfully, this one shot was easy because I just had to track Devimon. And it's not even perfect, but for how zoomed out we are when the shot is happening and for how much it is happening around, it doesn't need to be perfect. So that was a saving grace. But there was more happening later, and it looks as though the update... I gotta stop updating my software before we do shit here. Let's see. Anything else that is of note to mention for motion tracking? Just lip flaps? Look at that booty. Okay.
He has no cake.
No cake. He had to die. Alright, let's talk animation errors. So there's this one shot in episode 9 where Mimi is running from Sukima. This sounds familiar. Did I talk about this before?
We used this in the previous episode.
Yeah. Funny thing. We were using the Japanese Blu-ray footage for that episode. And then we decide for episode 10, let's upgrade to the discotheque footage because it looks great. Unfortunately for me, where is that fucking shot of Mimi's fucking... oh yeah, that's in Premiere. No, wait, no. Wrong scene. Ba-da-ba-da. Yeah, get him, Ty.
Ty is a fierce warrior. He will not be stopped.
Oh, so I did do this in After Effects this time. Mimi's hair...
It's been a while.
...was blonde for one frame, and I just had to mask it and just bring down the curves a little bit.
Goodbye, Weasel. It was good seeing you.
Yeah. Bye, Weasel.
Thanks for stopping by, man.
Yeah.
See you next week on DigiDestiny.
Yes. But yeah, I had to do this effect all over again because we switched footage. This is the third time in the course of the show where we've upgraded the footage quality, and every single time I have suffered for it.
But you also love it.
I do. 100%. Yes, unfortunately. I also had to adjust Sukamon here because originally the cells were not lining up. So I had to mask him out and place him back in, then put in the tree trunk, the tree branch, in order to hide any seams.
Actually,
yeah, what's up?
no, you finish your thought.
Thankfully, this wasn't too bad since I've had experience doing it before.
Also, speaking of Sukamon, Nick gets his second character in Digimon Adventure Abridged this episode, where he plays TK and Matt's dad in a flashback.
That's right. And his the mom is played by Manic Monday, who also plays Biomon.
Heck yeah!
Oh my god, they're gonna have so much fun when we get to the real world.
I don't know. With all the things we could do to the parents when we get back to the real world.
We already have plans for Mimi's.
Oh yeah.
So, okay, this one I really thought this was going to be a harder effect. So I just made a mask. So for this shot here, Devimon's face is the wrong color, and technically, I guess you could say it's just shaded, but it still bothered me. So I duplicated it with the intention that I would like have to color correct it, but I just changed the blend mode to screen, and that worked. Did I apply? I didn't even apply any effects. And I was like, oh. Huzzah! That is like top 10 like effects I go into thinking it's going to be harder, only to realize, oh, it's done. But we do have my old nemesis and ally expressions. So this was a fun bit. Fun fact, this is a game of Minesweeper I played. Like, this wasn't a random board I found online or could generate or just made from scratch. This is a screenshot from my iPad. It took me like 3 attempts to even get a board where I was like, okay, is the solution not obvious? Because I kept getting, I don't know, I kept getting easy boards. So if we go down, where are the expressions? There you are. So we have this countdown clock. In order for it to count up, I have this little script here. This slider saying go from this to this. And this... oh yeah. So this expression is telling the text, hey, be tied to this slider. When this value change, make it reflect this. I'm doing a very bad job of explaining this expression because it's been literally months since I've done this effect, but expressions are so powerful. And I don't get to use them that often, so most of the knowledge I have from doing this is already gone. However, wiggle, I know how to wiggle. Wiggle, 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 yeah. This is just 2 keyframes. And I told After Effects, hey, every 13 frames, change the position value by 7. So every 13 frames, this is changing. No, it's changing every frame. It's basically saying move by these values every frame. I did the same thing here. Wahoo, look at him go. Oh man, it's a shame that Weasel left, because I'm talking eyes now, and Weasel's so good at eyes. Alright, so there was a couple shots in this episode where I had to mask out somebody's eyes and move them. This is an effect that I've only started really doing more of recently. Weasel is super good at this. Basically what it involves is making an outline of everything except the eyes and just basically cutting holes like I'm a serial killer. And then grab an isolated shot of each eye, and then create my own background that matches the original eye color. But now that I have the eyes, I can now change the positions at will. This here for Ogremon. I did this a lot for Ogremon, apparently. But one thing I had to do, especially for Ogremon, is these eyes weren't perfect. So in some shots, I had to rebuild the eyes. I think it was in this one. Yes. So these eyes weren't fully complete. So I ended up duplicating the eyes to reconstruct them. It's something that I've recently started doing, so I'm actually really enjoying the process. I did that here too, because you get to see the whole eye throughout each movement. Did that here with Mimi too. Here with Matt. Whoop. And here with Ty. And you can tell that's a Kaduyula flap. And we do have a special guest to talk about. Jedi.
Ah, yes!
So
The old man.
Originally he has these particles that are floating in the way of his lip flaps. If I did a traditional lip flap, it would be all jittery. So I took a still of his lip flaps and used a stamp tool to erase them, and then brought them back into After Effects, already timed, and then placed that on top.
So, Red, mind if I mention something that we've mentioned this before in the server, but for those who may not know, the big reveal of Jedi as the narrator this entire time was something you, Chase, and I had planned pretty much since episode 1.
Yeah. By the end of episode 1, we were joking with the idea, and I think we confirmed that's what we wanted to do by episode 2.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
The more outlandish we make his life, the better.
Exactly. Now, here's something funny. I have a section of notes just labeled as fun, so I don't know what I'm getting into here. I have been pretty busy this week, so I haven't had time to really go into detail with reviewing my notes. So let's see what the fuck we got. Oh yeah, this was an easy one. This was just removing Electmon from the white shot. Just took a little bit of the background and slid it over to make a clean plate. Not particularly hard. Oh. So I wanted to make Greymon hit really hard here, so I duplicated him and added a blur effect. Oh no, I didn't. I just turned on the motion blur in After Effects. And up here is just a mask of the environment to make sure that this blur didn't cut into anything that it wasn't supposed to. What do we got here? Oh yeah. This wasn't in the script. I just decided to have his eyes glow. I did that just by isolating his eyes and doing an extraction, which means I removed all the dark parts of the shots, leaving only the things of color, which in this case are the eyes itself. I added a glow effect, keyframed the brightness on that, and I duplicated the effect as well, just to add some intensity to it. What's this one? No. Oh.
Oh, I love this one.
Okay, so let me go to V4 for this one. So this was an effect I was really on my own case about. There were 4 different renders of this effect before I was happy. The stuff like this explosion, that was all standard. The eggs were a last minute decision. Well, not last minute, but fairly late in the development. I have this pre-comp of the eggs that I don't think was ever used in the final version. Let's see, which... Oh god, was this a
Look at all those babies fly.
I have a motion blurred sequence right here of the eggs falling. This took so many different attempts and passes before I was happy. And then there's this one where we explode and we generate 3D feathers. This is a Trapcode particular simulation. Let's see if I can open this without crashing. Some rendering features are... How dare you? How dare you? So this is a plugin for After Effects called Trapcode Particular. It allows me to generate custom particle forms, graphs, mostly used to make shit blow up. I can determine the size and shape of a particle, like these lights. Ooh, I never noticed these before. That might be fun. You can generate some rudimentary explosions and smoke with it. And I used it to just use a 3D model of a feather and just have that float away with some physics simulations. I did tint the colors so that they would match the environment a little bit. Because in the episode, all of these are filled with feathers. And I did take this into Photoshop and do a bunch of cloning for the background. So that way I could cut out these buildings and slowly have them be collapsing.
So Red, while we're in Primary Village, would now be a good time to mention the other guests we had in this episode?
Yes! I am so happy about him. That was incredible.
So, by some miracle, Chase is amazing. That's not what's the miracle. That's
to be expected at this point.
But somehow Chase managed to get Kaiser Neko of Team 4 Star and had him as Elecmon for the episode.
Yes.
Which was simply incredible. He was an incredible talent. Apparently he knocked out all the lines in one go super fast and then had to run to get to like a birthday party.
Yeah, consummate professional. I am so sad that I missed that directing session because the dude's my hero. He's one of the big inspirations I have for becoming a video editor, and it just would have been great to actually tell him all that to his face or via Discord.
But yeah, that Ekmon comes back, so who knows? You might get that chance.
I hope so. I hope I get that chance to be that weird fan that makes him uncomfortable. God, I hope not. No, don't let me be that. Now, this is just a very dumb effect I did for Ogremon, because I flipped this shot. It's mirrored. So, yeah. So Ogremon shouldn't have... He has a leather bracer on one arm and this red hand wrap on the other. So I just made a mask and tinted all of it and turned it all gray. And then I duplicated his belt buckle in different elements and just flipped all of it. Because I was like, I'm not going to let anyone notice that it's been flipped. And yet I didn't do anything about his scar. Because I got lazy.
What's what? I couldn't even tell.
I know, because I didn't tell you I was doing this one. This is another effect I did multiple times. So originally I just took a still frame of him and just shrunk him down till he was gone. But this looked bad. So what I ended up doing is I duplicated him at the beginning of his animation. And then just kept changing the mask over time until his animation repeated. Duplicated it, moved it to the beginning, scaled him back down to match over the previous frame, and then just basically repeated until he was so small that he was gone. And I had a duplicate of the clean plates that I slowly faded up over the final animation to have him disappear. This one was a pain in the ass. So, let me go to that scene. Nope, too far ahead. Where are you? Are you fighting? Okay, here it is. Over here. Digimon smacks wax.
Whee!
For us,
You will stay silent when I speak, or I will silence you myself!
I wanted to break up the movement a bit. So, smack. Then mass out Togemon. Isolate Kabuterimon for a bit. And all down here is where the pain begins. So I slowly had to reconstruct parts of Devimon's arm because I had to clean those sections because Togemon had covered them before. Like, all these are where Togemon was covering his body. I had to remove and fake. Like, this is just a color layer. How dare you autosave on me? How dare you? I'm in the middle of something here. Now the key is to take these all from different frames when these parts weren't covered. Like from here, like here, like all these other sections are open territory. If you saw the Goblin Slayer Abridged movie, there was an opening scene with credits that I had to do that for too. That is this on steroids. Speaking of Blackmon. This is another effect I did multiple times to get right because I was never happy with it.
I think the description we gave you ultimately was Bowser Kerga from Zatch Bell.
Yeah. So on top,
If you know, you know.
so this is a pre-comped layer that is just this effect. Now we have multiple 2D lightning elements, all constantly going to create this effect. And at the base, the core, is fractal noise. Oh god, no, don't fuck off. With a 2-in displacement and a roughened edge, just creates This originally started off as just a shape layer, just a single spline that I extruded to like thicken up. If I just do this, it thickens up more. Like if I just do this, it's just a flat line. But with all these elements applied, it becomes a rough, jagged bolt. I then bring that in here, where I then tint it and have it become a mask for a fractal noise that gives it that Kamehameha energy pattern. And then we just layer a crap ton of lightning effects on top, which we then bring back in here, duplicate, blur, and change the blend modes a bit to give that an extra glow. And then I just duplicate some footage and burn the ground with a low scorchy texture. Use some stock smoke bursts and then put in some images of the eggs. Just be like, well, bye. Bye, babies. This was an effect I had a lot of fun with. And then I would have to go in and just do the scorch again, just so I could have Elecmon. Let's bring him back here. Where are you?
I just
Running.
remember us taking every shot we could to kill the babies, because no consequences would be had. We could just turn them into eggs.
Oh, yeah. Granted, in the show, it's a longer process. It takes longer for
Oh,
them to
yeah.
respawn. But it's funny.
Yeah, we're making a funny video, so we can just obliterate them.
Also, I don't know how many of you noticed this, but coming out of TK's memory of his parents, look at his eyes. The boy's blocking out reality.
Like our reality, TK. It's okay.
It goes just before he blinks, and the moment he blinks, the effect's done. Did this by isolating his eyes again and applying a tint and fractal and noise, just typical TV noise. Now, it's important that I apply the noise first, because sometimes the noise can actually have its own coloration. So I made sure to apply the tint first, afterwards. Oh yeah, this one was kind of frustrating, to be honest. I just duplicated some of the gears and just had them emit a little bit faster. There was a lot more I wanted to do with this, but I was on limited time at this point, and I was like, let me just add in a couple more gears. I wish I kind of could have had them just rapid, just
Just the sliding whistle sound effect for them.
exactly. Now, these two shots, originally in the source footage, Angemon brings down his staff and then challenges Ogremon. Ogremon jumps out and attacks. But we kind of flipped the order of these shots. So I used this opportunity to have Angemon's staff glow again. Because, you know, in the shots beforehand, it was now glowing. And I wanted to maintain that continuity. And then we have this shot. Okay, now this always bothered me in the source footage. I think this counts as an animation error. I'm not sure. So, Angemon's staff isn't glowing, even though it just, in the shots leading up to it, let me bring it up here. Friends, I'm your power. Eagle was so fucking good with that. Yeah, see what I mean here? So it's glowing, and then it's not glowing, and then boop, it's gone. I didn't like that, so I decided I'm gonna add my own glow back to his staff. Let's see.
I do love the glow effect you gave his heavenly knuckles.
Yes. Hand of Fate. Which I suppose it's time we talk about the big elephant in the room.
Digimon and Devimon's death. The
Yes.
custom animation we got from official Serafi.
Yes. So, After Effects, please keep up here. After Effects. After Effects? Okay, book back.
Da, 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 da. There we go.
So this is an original composition that I made just to go with this, the series. Just Devimon's taunting them, and I wanted another shot to cut to. So I made this. I did have to, let's see, recolor the background under TK. Boop. 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 Jesus Christ. And these particles were actually all generated through Trapcode Particular. I took a screenshot of one of these sprites, isolated it, uploaded it to Particular, and then told it, hey, emit a crap ton of these. Thank you. And of course, this is another instance where I recreate the background, which I would then have to do for the rest of the scene. So, if you don't know, Official Serafi is an incredibly talented artist and animator. They are so good at recreating the Digimon Tri art style, and I knew going into this death scene for Devimon and Angemon, I just couldn't handle these particles. They were too much. I had to extend the shots, and I couldn't make that look good. I couldn't create a clean plate. It was just too much that I just couldn't do. So I hit up Serafi and just asked, hey, can I commission you? And they're like, yeah. I was like, thank you. Serafi actually also made the 2 images of me and Storm you're seeing on screen.
Heck yeah. Serafi, if by some chance you're saying this, thank you so much. You are incredible.
Yeah. So Serafi was in charge of creating the shots of Angemon and Devimon, as well as the lip flaps. All I told him was like, hey, I just need this. I can handle the animation of them dissolving. I'm a VFX artist. I got this part. As a matter of fact, I can probably upload some of the cells to the Discord for everyone to see. Because one of the things I had to do was composite them. Now, compositing is actually like the bread and butter of VFX. So let's use this shot as an example. So we have Angemon here. And this solid layer is going to be our light wrap. It is the lighting that wraps around a person when they're in an environment. So we have the first layer being the fractal noise, because that's the background. And it's reacting to like the effects, and it's going to be wrapping around Angemon as our source and telling it wrap around his alpha channel, his outline. I'm then adjusting a fade, a blur, to determine how distinct and the spread of that. And then I'm saying another matte to tell it like, okay, affect only the inside and not the outside. So if we put them back on and adjust this blur again, a lot, none. Usually if like CGI in a movie stands out to you, this is why. It's not composited correctly. Light wrap and matching the black levels goes a huge... There's so much work in doing that. And then I did this particle effect to cover the area that's wiping him. And this took a little bit of work because I just couldn't recreate the one from the show. That was the one limitation I hit. So I decided to go with this kind of like gentle, angelic starlight kind of look. Whereas for Digimon, I went with this more aggressive, fiery kind of dissolve. And as it goes up his torso and to his neck, I have it choked down on him.
Right, I gotta say, these effects were simply amazing.
I was very happy with this one.
We don't give you enough credit, and we sing your goddamn praises.
It's been a long time since I've used Vector Blow. I've missed you, old friend. I used to use you so much when I would try to do Kamehameha videos. And of course, we can't talk about this scene without also talking about the end of the episode, which had a custom rendition of Butterfly.
Oh yeah, from Silverstorm.
So it's really funny that worked out that way, because Storm, you have a funny story about this.
Oh yeah. I've actually been a big fan of Silverstorm's content for a while, especially his one cover of Pokemon X and Y, his theme. It was actually on my mix for the gym when I would do cardio.
And then we hit him up years ago about doing a cover for the Digimon Abridged opening. And then we was like, hello, let's hit him up again. And it's only when we hit him up about this that we realized, wait, this is the same guy that does that cover that Storm likes? What the hell? So it turns out we've been fan of his content for a long time without actually realizing it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he freaking killed it. He found a way to keep it as something uniquely its own, still harkens to Butterfly, while also keeping us far away from the copyright strikes.
Speaking of, this episode is currently off the YouTube. It's down because of copyright. We're working on resolving it. But if you want to go to the but if you want to go to the Patreon channel and check out what's there, you might find a brand new episode of Digimon Tamers, and the end card might also have a brand new track from Silverstorm as well.
This episode was such a treat to work on. It's something that we've been working towards for a long time. And I'm so excited that the series doesn't end here, that we actually get to continue forward into episode 11 and 12, which are basically done in the scripting process. We just need to go over them one or two more times, and then we're going to get to moving on those.
Yes, and I'm very happy to announce that Storm, I've done something that I've never done before and allowed someone else to help me in the edit process. Storm is now assisting me as a co-editor for Digimon Abridged in all aspects, Tamers and Adventure.
The only thing where I'm not helping you in Digimon related stuff is adding the shorts for DigiDestiny.
Yet. Storm, I gotta say, you are coming along very well. I've seen what you've done for Tamers 4 already, as well as Tamers 5. I'm really excited for... Oh god, I'm just excited in general.
I love working on Digimon. It is easily my favorite thing that we've done.
Yeah. I've gone on record saying how when we started Abridging, the passion project, the ideal project we wanted to work on was Digimon. And, you know, we just didn't have the team for it at the time.
But god damn.
What the hell? Supreme Lord Ender redeemed Sound Alert Snake. Failed mission. What the hell? I'm just noticing that there's people on the Twitch side. Oh my god.
Oh my god, we're live on Twitch?
Apparently. Oh wait, does this circumvent the memberships? Oh no!
Oops the daisies.
I'm never gonna get this right.
Welcome to more scuff.
Me just... Bye!
So, Ed, is there anything else that you need... Sorry, was falling away from my chair. So, Ed, is there anything else that we need to go over before ending stream? Is there anything else?
Let me double check to see if there's any fun facts. Oh, the arrival of Joe and Sora in the middle of this fight is part of the reason we didn't want to cover the episode with Bakemon. Because we thought that
Oh, yeah, that's right.
them showing up without context, I particularly thought was absolutely hilarious. Just like I think I pitched it only because I remember that the original idea was Joe was gonna be so much angrier. It's like, do not fuck with me. But
yeah,
I'm
I
much
remember
happier
that.
with what we eventually landed on.
Same.
I think
I am very happy with this, especially since now we get to like flashback to the Bakemon stuff in the Myotismon storyline.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun. You feel like what? I really want to like try alluding to that island. Just be like, no, Sora, we must never speak of it. Let's see. Any other notes? Oh yeah, let me go ahead and drop these in the chat because the way I found Serafi was because they did a custom animation of Mekumon's animation all the way to Mega in the tri-art style.
Oh yeah, that's right. And I'll also go ahead and drop Silverstorm's link.
Oh yeah,
at
please
the
do
same
that.
time.
But yeah, I think that covers everything. If anyone has any questions for us, now's the time. Yeah, let's go ahead and open up to any questions that the community might have.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
This was just an absolutely fun episode to work on.
And Digimon will continue.
It will. Oh, by the way, there was an effect I did on this. Let's see. Wow, that was loud as hell. 1 second, let me crank that down. Episode 10's down right now. I don't know how much of this I'm comfortable playing.
Yeah, with the episode being down,
There
maybe
it
it's
is.
best to not.
But yes, I used a kind of holographic effect called Hollow Matrix. Another Red Giant plugin. I'm a bit of a sucker for this stuff, in case you haven't noticed. It gives this cool, like, holographic static look. Normally it's like more default holographic stuff. But I just kind of toned it down just so we can see a lot more of the original colors. Let me bring that up here. If it will ever load. Yeah, like this kind of stuff. Very Star Warsy. Also would like to give it up to our incredible cast and crew that we've had throughout the years.
Oh yeah. Coffin Jockey, Grimjack, Buddy VA, Yamato SFX,
Hayabusa.
fucking Hayabusa, Izanami.
Yeah, Manic and Naumified. Jane, red as a tomato. Storm, fuck that guy.
RedBeast, we wouldn't be anywhere here without your adding powers.
Haven fucking carried episode 10. They were so good. And of course, Logan as Devimon, Segi as Leomon. The Hockey Bridge as Ogremon was so fun. We got
Red as a tomato.
Yeah, P.S. Weasel. Got Koba Biskyum, Mesmerize, Nick,
Eagle 8 Burger. Fucking
yes.
goddamn.
Carolyn, Chi-Chi. And this has just been a fun project. Alright. I don't know if there's anything else to say. Sounds like we're kind of winding down to kind of stretching. This wasn't an episode with a lot of effects. There was a lot of repeats, but it did have a handful of big ones. That's going to become the challenge of doing these at some point, where there's a lot of repeats of standard effects.
Yeah. But for those of you who've been with us since episode 1 all the way up to episode 10, thanks for sticking around. Hope to see you again in the next 10 episodes, 20 episodes, who knows how long.
Yeah. And also check out the Patreon. Tamer's episode 3 is up there.
Oh yes, part 1 and part 2 are up.
Yes. It's a fun time. We get to explore some Terriermon lore. Alright.
Want to know about the Gulag? Go there!
Alright, thank you all for stopping by. Catch you all next time. See you all next week for more Digi Destiny.